He said to me, you know, son, that's not just a flag, it's a symbol. It's a symbol for millions of people all over the world. It's all their hopes and beliefs. It's freedom and justice, and all the things men fight for.
He played soldiers and sailors, cowboys and crooks, professors and presidents. But to us, Henry Fonda was Dad. He was an iconic movie star, but Dad considered himself to be just a working man, striving for perfection, honing his craft on screen and on stage. It was just the work he did.
Dad was a hands-down performer, the kind of acting where he could deliver a brilliant performance without even lifting his arms. And in many of his roles, you can see this steady tension, this rock-solid stillness that stood for justice, democratic ideals, and honest character. When Henry Fonda said something on screen, you were inclined to believe it.
You're worse than a liar. You have no sense of right or wrong, only what'll work. No, this is going to work.
You're not going to use that now?
Oh, yes, yes. I'll use anything against you. I can't let you be president.
Off-screen, Dad was quietly intense and shy, not one to use his fame to preach. He felt it was through his movies that he could make a difference, send a message.
Where did that come from?
When he was 14, for example, Dad witnessed an infamous lynching in Omaha, Nebraska. It had a profound effect on him and informed some of the roles he chose, such as Gil Carter, the loner cowboy who swept up in a mob, going after 3 suspected killers in the Oxbow incident.
If you got any doubts, Tedley, I say let's call off this party. Take it back to the judge like Davies wants.
This is only slightly any of your business, my friend. Remember that?
Hanging's any man's business that's around.
If your stomach for justice is cooling, Carter, I advise you to leave now before we proceed any further.
I still don't like it. Hanging murders is one thing, but to keep guys you don't know for sure did it, stand around sweating while you shoot your mouth off, that's another.
I'm still totally amazed by him in that film. It is Dad at his best, playing himself and showing his great sense of justice. In the bar where the guilty lynch mob has gathered after committing their barbaric, dirty deed, Dad reads aloud a letter written by one of the hanged men addressed to his widow. You don't see Dad's piercing blue eyes, just his mouth in his Midwestern cadence, delivering the lines with more sure-shot honesty than people were ready for.
There can't be any such thing as civilization unless people have a conscience. Because if people touch God anywhere, where is it except through their conscience? And what is anybody's conscience except a little piece of the conscience of all men that ever lived?
That's what my dad was all about.
As sure as he was in his convictions, my dad was also a man of contradictions. Warmth showed in his eyes, and yet he was a rather shut-down, standoffish person who hid behind his roles, expressing through them emotions he recoiled from in real life.
He may have hid behind a cast of characters, but at least it was a diverse crowd. In 1964's Fail-Safe, he is a steady, principled president struggling to prevent an accidental nuclear exchange.
Colonel Grady, this is the President of the United States. The mission you are flying has been triggered by a mechanical failure. It is a mistake. I order you and the other planes to return to your base at once. Do you hear? At once.
I can no longer receive tactical alterations by voice.
I know that, but...
But you're telling me I've been specifically ordered not to do.
Damn it, Grady, this is the President!
Then 5 years later, Dad starred in Once Upon a Time in the West. I thought he was magnificent, turning his own squeaky clean image on its ear.
I only told you to scare them.
People scare better when they're dying.
Here was Henry Fonda, an American icon of integrity and moral value, playing one of the most despicable characters you ever saw. It flipped everyone out, even Dad.
Just over a decade later, I was so grateful for the experience of On Golden Pond with him. I believed that in his role as Norman Thayer, he would finally win the Oscar. And even though Dad never particularly liked awards, oh, I wanted that so much to happen for him. Those moments we shared on screen as father and daughter, A relationship that so closely paralleled our own, were such a blessing and more meaningful than I can fully express.
I want to be your friend.
Oh. This mean you come around more often? Mean a lot to your mother?
Because he was sick, I accepted for him the Academy Award for Best Actor. It was the happiest moment of my life. Even though Dad wasn't the perfect father, he gave me plenty. A respect for integrity and character, compassion for the poor and marginalized, and an overwhelming urge to speak truth to power.
You can't suppress ideas, Mr. Keller, just because you don't like them. Nobody can, not in this country, not yet.
And he gave me and my children a respect and love of the land. He did his best to be a good father to us. I loved him very much.
Dad was the epitome of the American everyman, and I miss the man who wore many honorable masks of the American character. Masks of a Steinbeck rebel, of honest men trying to bring nobility to government, and of a nameless man standing his ground in a sweltering jury room. No, Dad wasn't perfect, but to the world, he was a quiet, humble hero. For Turner Classic Movies, I'm Peter Fonda.
And I'm Jane Fonda.